Morning once again. We are here, we are back. We are back for another edition of the Tonka edition, this time Blackfish Classic. Just waiting on Kyle here. We got a couple decisions to make here. In the end, I'm just sitting here waiting for him in the parking lot, but big day. Pre-fishing's been a little tough for bigger fish. I might have caught one that was like 3 3/4, 4. Other than that, I think there's a fair amount of groups in the 3 to 3.5 pound range, a fair amount of groups, so that's what I could find. Say for this one, I explored a lot less of the lake than what I normally would, so feeling a little uneasy. It's a little different than I have in the past, but we have one decision to make. I think there's one spot that's been going the last couple of weeks, and it's kind of out over by itself, so if you run all the way over there and don't get it, you have to go to option B or C, and it'll take a minute. Kind of mess up the rest of the rotation, but Kyle and I will talk about it. We'll figure out what we're gonna do. We just got, hardest part is just getting started on Minnetonka, and so put our time in. Hopefully this is the year. Come on now. See you next time.
Good luck today, guys.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I started off the video as I normally do, but just kind of gonna do a little different for the Blackfish Classic. We didn't catch a whole ton of fish, so there wasn't too much exciting going on, but so we're gonna start it off. We start off in the morning. We got one community spot that's always been good that we really wanted to get to. We're decently early boat draw, so we run there, and to our surprise we were able to get on it. Through practice, these fish had been there for quite a while, so come. So I decided I was for sure going there to at least try it out. I was a little concerned. We had one other spot kind of by it, but we went by that. I spent a pretty good amount of time practicing for the Blackfish Classic, and I was struggling a little bit in some of the areas, Clearwater side of the lake, even though I caught one really good smallmouth, this one. But I saw it on live scope. There's 3 going by a point, and cast it out there. As soon as it hit, you could see the smallmouth coming up, and got it. And you know, there's some very good smallmouth in Minnetonka, but I'm just not for sure how patternable are. You know, a couple times ago for the Blackfish Classic, we weighed in probably like a 3.5, 3 3/4 pound smallmouth, but to target them, I'm not for sure. You know, I even caught probably like a 3.5, 3 3/4 pounder over on the west side of the lake, non-traditional smallmouth side, and I knew that one wasn't paddleable again. It was on another community spot, so a little bit of how practice was going. So we decided to start on this community spot. Show you here a couple of the fish we caught. Okay, a real one.
We're way off the
So we caught our 5 fish. I can't remember if we called or not. Had a decent bag to start with, and we started to run around. We had one other spot that I put on some videos that I saw a local Tonka guy, super good fisherman, started there. And we ended up running a bunch of some deeper spots, but what I really wanted to do was, I thought in practice a couple days before, the docks were really going good in a couple areas, so I really wanted to get over there, you know, and I had a lot of thoughts. I was like, do I get there right away in the morning? Who knows if those fish are up, set up on the docks right. So we gave it a couple hours, fished through a couple areas, but the fish were bigger ones that we needed for this tournament, that were there the day before, and I caught one, had another bite, and I had a couple another really good bites on this section of dock, so we had to go down it. We spent some time going down that stretch of docks, and I had one bite, half bite, that set into, and I just had it for just a second or two, and who knows how big it was. It just bit really weird, and we committed to those ones, ran some other of these deeper spots, and since I practiced kind of sporadically throughout the month of July, I had a couple other places that I caught good ones on that I left alone, that I thought they'd be there, and we never got any fish there. The day was completely calm, completely sunny. You could run where you wanted to, which makes it easy for fishing wise, but man, those fish seemed to really shut off. So, and if it was the weather or if it was the pressure, not 100% sure, but we went through that stretch of docks, a long stretch of docks, and we maybe even caught one little one, who knows. So that we went through some time there, and just hoping that those fish were there and that there's traditionally some big fish on them. We fished a couple of those deeper spots, and then we ran through another couple areas where I had a couple of bites on docks, and I've kind of changed the way that I fish a little bit, fishing the Champs Tour, not setting the hook as much. And that's kind of just like knowing the lake, knowing that on Minnetonka that there can be some better ones, and you don't want to hook them in practice doing this. So I left some of that alone. I just got some bites and went to some specific docks. And then we ended up catching one up shallow that was pretty good, and we got another one off another deeper-ish rock spot that we fish, mid-range rock spot. It's like a 3-pounder, and we caught another 3-pounder up shallow. But we started to run later in the day. We got out in the clear water, and there's some groups of fish that I found that I thought there were some good ones there that I thought we could upgrade, and it was just nothing going on. I'm not for sure if the fish changed with the weather conditions, if they moved more up in the coontail, or if they moved around in the weeds. You know, that's one of the things that's unfortunate when you're fishing weeds or coontail or whatever like that, that they do move around, and you have to sometimes relocate them, even if they've always had certain waypoints in one little area. If that's what happened, or if those fish got really, really negative in one bite. But we committed a fair amount of time to dock fishing, and it didn't pay off. At least the ones we fished. I'm sure some other people got some on some. And so we ran some of these clear water weeds, coontail, some little rock areas, but I've really struggled on that side of the lake. And so what I did was we ran through these areas, maybe caught a couple little ones, and we were just never able to locate them, never able to get something going besides right away there in the morning. And pretty confident after last year of fishing the Denny's that I thought I had something going on, and a couple things translated to this year. But man, the Tonka's just like changing so much. You can just take a little bit here and a little bit there, and it's tough to combine it all together. You really got to fish out there a lot to be able to do good out there, or else take in a lot of information to put it all together, because it changes so much every year. You can see there's a few teams that are really consistent, that spend a lot of time out there. And so that's the way Blackfish went. We ended up 20th. We got 200, 300, 300, 850 bucks for 20th place. So that was cool. We got $850 in gift certificates to Blackfish, so very good for, you know, they paid 15 spots, so we'll definitely take that. It's a bummer to go to Minnetonka and do bad, especially after having so much confidence after last year. We were just really consistent on Minnetonka last year. We never had any high finishes, but yeah, it's that one was very unfortunate, but you could see the bite overall was really tough. You know, what we weighed in 14 something pounds and 15 something, cash a check at 15. So from 15th all the way up into the top 10 or 5 or whatever was only like 16 something pounds or something like that. So the weights were really not very good for Minnetonka's sake. And you know, I'm not for sure that really clamps down with the pressure there. I can always see that Denny's weights are pretty good for on the Mondays. So I'm not for sure if it's just the pressure finally gets to it with all the people out there. And 100 boats on Minnetonka I don't think is the worst. It's a fairly big lake, but there's a lot of time spent out there by people. So nice top 20. We get into next year again, which is a cool thing that I like Blackfish did this year, is that the top 40 I think automatically got into Blackfish. We didn't get to fish the last couple of years because what was it, 3-4 years ago we were third for the Blackfish. I'm sure some people on here have watched that video, but we were third and we weren't able to get in the last couple of years because you had to be spot on for getting into it. So this year being 20th, we automatically get in. Pretty sure we'll fish it again, or I will fish it again next year, because it's a pretty cool tournament. High, you know, for Minnesota for sure. So that's how it went. We did this video a little different. The practice on Minnetonka is usually kind of a struggle with all the pleasure boaters, but when you get there on Monday for tournament day, it's so nice to be out there. It's a pretty fun lake most of the time. I've had some pretty good times out there. Very good fishing lake. So that's my recap of the Blackfish. We did good, but expectations were pretty high for this one. So hopefully we can get some things together. Here I'm taping this September, and I haven't been out to Minnetonka since. Probably won't for the rest of the year, but I'd like to do some more scanning, some more looking around, looking for some other stuff out there, because the lake is really changing. And that's my recap. Hopefully I got some ideas as to the way that I personally fish Minnetonka and the way this one went. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.